podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go, show recaps, predictions, sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go.
What is going on, everyone? It's the EVP from the EVP Show. I'm so sorry. I'm 30 minutes late. Been caught up watching a basketball game and a hockey game. But I'm glad to be back. I enjoyed my 2 days off. Because I have a busy week coming up. So I definitely enjoyed my 2 days off. I have tomorrow off, and then starting Sunday, it's going to be about 10 to 12 days of streaming starting Sunday. So there's going to be a lot starting Sunday. So I get tomorrow off, and then Sunday scoops, obviously, coming Sunday. And then next week is a 7-day stream week. And then the next week is a Rumble week. So it'll probably be maybe 1-2 days off next week, the week after that. But we're live. Sorry, I apologize again for being late. Trying to sweat out a 3-pointer. I've been getting hooked all day. Shout out to DWE Host and DWE Replays. All right, so we are live again. We're on the road to, the week before Saturday night's main event. WWE is waiting till the last minute to announce these matches. I said 3 weeks ago that the MFTs were going to be the ones to take the tag titles off of the Wyatt Six. Well, look what's happening. It's gonna happen. Probably happen next week. Because it is advertised. But yeah. So obviously it was from Wembley. Tonight. Crowd was rocking. Show starts off with a recap of Drew McIntyre winning the WWE Undisputed Championship from Cody Rhodes. And then you get a band of pipers and Highland play Drew as he makes his entrance, which felt like a WrestleMania entrance. It's good for Drew, but I got a lot of news on Sunday regarding the whole Drew-Cody situation. Drew put it in the contract that Cody couldn't get a rematch, which I'm sure Cody knows that, but he's got to work his way up from the bottom. And so, yeah, it's just the way it kind of is, unfortunately. But it did set up a match for Saturday night's main event, which I'm going to be looking forward to with Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. Ultimately, like I said, I have a lot of news. Crap, my phone. I have a lot of news to break Sunday regarding Saturday night's main event. Well, not too much on Saturday night's main event, but Royal Rumble plans, WrestleMania plans, stuff like that. Shout out to Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast for reposting the stream. Make sure you give them a follow on X as well as a subscription on YouTube. Also, to the CEO himself, the head of the table of DWE Miami the Great. Man, I'm so fucking late. I have been fucking hooked all day by 1 3-pointer. Just so crazy. Or 1 goal. Just crazy how this shit works. But Drew got a big entrance. He comes out. He says he prayed for this and it happened. Obviously, we've seen that GIF or GIF or whatever you guys call it, meme, whatever, all over for the longest time. The crowd responds with, "You deserve it," chants. He said he knows it's been a rough few years in the UK, but if somebody can bring them together is the undisputed WWE champion, the first ever British WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. He says all the support has been incredible, and all he has to say is screw you. So, big heel mark there. When he got fired, where were you? When Roman Reigns and the Bloodline were screwing him over week after week, month after month, there was no uprising. They cheered him and did the stupid yeet with Jey Uso, according to Drew McIntyre. And Cody, with his dumb referees, match after match, he was screwed, and nobody did anything about it. There's one person to thank, and the only person who ever believed in him, and that's himself. He said Cody Rhodes, unlike a lot of Americans, can't read, is what Drew McIntyre said. 90% of Americans. He said he had Nick Aldis add a clause to the contract for 3 stages of hell that says Cody Rhodes doesn't get a rematch, and the Vanilla Steel QB1 title reign is over, and Cody Rhodes will have to start from the beginning. Well, he's not, but I mean, Cody has declared himself for the Royal Rumble. Is he going to be a 3-time winner? I don't think so. But I think it's going to be. I think Cody's going to be in the chamber. I'm not giving y'all my stuff until Sunday. I do think Drew defends in the chamber. Either that or they do Drew, Cody, Jacob at WrestleMania. There's a couple of different plans out there. Roman and Punk is 100% locked. So anybody thinks it's Roman Cody, it's not happening. It's Roman Punk. Roman's gonna probably win the Rumble, challenge Punk. It's simple as ice cream on that. Said Cody Rhodes doesn't get a rematch and he has to start at the bottom and work his way up. The vanilla QB1 era is over and the dangerous, unpredictable Drew McIntyre era begins tonight. And then out comes the Viper, Randy Orton. McIntyre says he assumed Randy came out to congratulate him. Orton says everyone knows they don't like each other, so no, he's not here to congratulate him, but to remind him that Kit Wilson is a future Grand Slam champion, in my opinion. He deserved everything. Yeah, Kit's getting a heavy push. I'm not sure about a Grand Slam champion, but I'm sure he's going to win some sort of gold in WWE because the fans have really resonated to Kit. I think Kit's great. So, yeah. Drew said he had a chance to kick his head through the announce desk and he declined, so he just wanted to say man to man that when he gets a chance to return the favor, he will not hesitate. He's won that title before, and he'll win it again with the RKO. And then out comes the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. No surprise there. Fatu hits the ring, attacks McIntyre, taking him to the floor, smashing his face in the announce desk. Drew turns the tables, puts his head into the post, and gets enough breathing room to run away to the crowd while Randy Orton looks on. And then The Miz comes out from nowhere. This is 3 weeks in a row. The Miz has just showed up out of nowhere and hits the skull-crushing finale to lay Randy out. So, obviously, they have a qualifying match tonight. I posted on X 6 hours before SmackDown started, the 4 winners of the qualifying matches. So, I really typically didn't even need to watch the show, but I did anyway. I watched it late. I did not watch the show until 8 p.m. So we get Randy Orton versus Miz in the first qualifier. There'll be 4 people qualifying going on to Saturday night's main event. I'm assuming it's main event, but I'm not 100% sure with Cody and Jacob in there. But I would assume that the Fatal 4-Way will be the main event. Maybe Cody and I think Rhea and Io and Liv and Roxanne probably open. But Cody and Jacob, I don't know. Cody, They're probably gonna save the fatal four way for the main event. Cody and Jacob may open. I don't know. We'll see. But that is official. There's 2 matches official for Saturday night's main event. Where the fucking wallpapers are, the posters are, I have no idea. But we're back from commercial break. Orton, Miz lands on his feet, suplexes Orton to announce death back inside. Miz is in control. Randy starts his comeback with Lariats and the snap scoop power slam. They go back out to the floor. Back inside, he's Miz looking for the hanging DDT. I mean, Orton is looking for the hanging DDT. He gets it. He starts going to that deep dark place that Randy Orton only goes to, but the A-lister counters with the skull crushing finale, and he almost got it right there. It was super close. Stalking after Orton, full Nelson shrugged off, blocked it RKO, and then he goes for the schoolboy roll up for 2 off the ropes, RKO by Randy Orton, 1, 2, 3, and your winner and your first qualifier for the Fatal 4-Way at Saturday night's main event, with the winner going on to challenge Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble is the Viper Randy Orton. Backstage, Drew McIntyre is walking along, clutching his title close to his chest when the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov, rolls up to talk. He says this is their first time talking, but tonight he's going to come one step closer to that title. And he won a title on his first night back because he doesn't fight like a sane man. Drew says he'll see him if he wins tonight in qualifying and wins the match at Saturday night's main event. He says he will see him at the Rumble, and unlike he was able to do to Jacob Part 2, he will knock his teeth out. And we get back from commercial, we get a recap of Solo Sikoa and the MFT stealing the Wyatt's lantern. That cuts into a Wyatt 6 promo where Uncle Howdy says Solo Sikoa thinks he stole their soul, but the lantern is not a weapon. They carry it in the dark, so the dark doesn't carry them. And it doesn't belong in the hands of someone who thinks that taking it is more valuable than its true purpose. And they will not rest until it's home. So Charlotte Flair, obviously sick last week when Alexa took on Julia for the United States title, runs into Alexa trying to be playful. Bliss isn't having it and unloads about how last week sucked and asks if Charlotte was really sick. Flair moms like she was puking and says Alexa chose to have a title match without her around, and she's given up many opportunities herself to focus on the team. So they're starting to throw some seeds in there of dissension with Alexa and Charlotte. I do believe eventually Alexa is going to be the one to turn. But they do have a qualifying match next week, or a number 1 contenders match for these the tag titles. So we'll see. But I do think ultimately we're going to get a heel Alexa versus a face Charlotte at some point. I did say on Scoop last week, I do feel like Charlotte is going to get a shot at Julia's U.S. title. I know she was kind of bickering with Nia. But now they're opening up Julia's opponent, so I'm liking what they're doing with the U.S. title. Flair gives in at the end, says Alexa's her person, and they make heart hands about it. So obviously they made up. Alexa leaves, and Nia Jax and Lash Legend roll up to try to sow seed of dissent, but Charlotte isn't having it and tells them off. Same thing they did with Alexa, planting seeds. So then we're getting our next matchup for the night, which is going to be the Queen Charlotte Flair, which Miami posted on X. I did really love Charlotte's gear tonight, and the goddess Alexa Bliss going one-on-one with the Women's United States tag match against the United States champion Julia and Kiana James, which she is just completely awful in the ring. So James and Bliss start Kiana with a shove. I'm not going to go through this entire match. Kiana escapes with the back elbow, but gets passed into the corner. Big super kick nails Charlotte in the face, but she stays on her feet and blasts her with a roundhouse kick. Alexa Bliss with the hot tag, assisted drop kick. Julia lands a drop kick. So when we're back from commercial, James and Julia are in control, working Bliss over. Alexa manages to clear the ring, but Kiana dives back in to block the tag. Bliss with an enziguri and a tag to Flair. Shoulder blocks, big chops. Julia runs in and gets some too. And Charlotte is fired up. She hits a handspring lariat, whipper cross, Flair flip, big boots, and a diving crossbody, but no pinfall. Flair also hits a big boot. Julia runs interference. Kiana is able to pull her off the turnbuckles from behind. We get a swinging neckbreaker from the Queen off the ropes, but Kiana hits a spinning spinebuster and tags Julia in. Arrivederci, Bliss breaks the cover up. So then we get a handful of hair while Kiana takes care of Alexa. Front kicks from the beautiful Madness Julia. Charlotte cuts her off with the elbow in the ropes. Julia returns a favor with a knee and a big boot from Charlotte on the third go. Kiana tags in. Alexa tags in. And Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair scored the pinfall victory. With the sister Abigail from Alexa Bliss on Kiana James 1, 2, 3. A little bit of payback from last week. Obviously, they're keeping Julia strong by not having her pinned, but Alexa and Charlotte do win the match. After the match is over, Nia Jax and the Bougie Bully, Lash Legend run in and lay Alexa Bliss and beat Charlotte Flair down. So this is 2 weeks in a row that they've come in and laid the smackdown on, so to speak, on Alexa and Charlotte. Well, it was Alexa last week and Charlotte this week. Julia starts to square up with Nia, and Kiana pulls her away. So we'll see what's going to go on from that. So then we get a video promo from Solo Sikoa and the MFT. Solo says the Fireflies are in his possession now. If the Wyatts want the lantern back, he suggests they put the tag titles on the line, which I suggested 3 weeks ago. The MFTs are going to take these tag titles. Until then, he's going to take real good care of the lantern, and he will be with him as he takes Damian Priest out and brings the WWE Championship back to the family. So then we get the entrance. Let me go ahead and play it for you guys, for all you haters. The two-time undisputed champion, former champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He got cheered, but he also got some booed when he got in the ring, and you could see him kind of snicker. That heel turn's got to be coming soon. I don't know when. It's up there, really slow burning it. He stands at the crowd. They are chanting for him, Cody Rhodes, and then there's some boos, as always. He's saying that it sounds a bit different, and that's okay. If anything, he guesses it's becoming a bit episodic. He'd come down here, do his interest, ask what they want to talk about. And he did that because he wasn't just the company's champion, but the crowd's champion. So Cody is noticing the boos, obviously. He didn't want them to be spectators, but rather teammates. But somewhere along the line, he got comfortable, even predictable, and didn't even see the eventualities of losing. Or is Drew McIntyre just that damn good? What do Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Hulk Hogan have in common with him? They're the only ones who have ever gone back-to-back wins in the Royal Rumble, and only one of them has ever won it 3 times. Sometimes on this roster, the best superpower you can have is believing in yourself. So now in a city where he wrestled every weekend for What Culture Pro Wrestling, to sharpen his skills to come back as the American Nightmare in a city that deserves a WrestleMania, he wants to make it official. Drew McIntyre says no rematch. Good. We'll do it the old-fashioned way, Cody says. He's declaring himself as the first entrant in the 2026 Men's Royal Rumble, which we haven't had anybody. He's the first one I've even heard of. Like they've advertised it a couple times, but they are not talking about the Royal Rumble very much, which is odd. It's literally 2 weekends from now. So then he says, so London, what do you want to talk about? He wants to talk about Jacob Fatu, and he's absolutely positive he understands the word receipt, and he can either drive his all gas car down right here, right now, or Cody will come find him and beat the brakes off his ass. Cody talking that shit. So then Matt Cardona is interviewed backstage. He says, it's a shame how Cody lost the title because he wanted to fight his buddy, but he and Drew go way back too. Drew's first match in WWE was against him, and just like he had to relieve and reinvent himself to come back, and he's not back just to be back. He's back for a spot at the top and to be the undisputed WWE champion. So then we get to our second qualifying match for the Fatal 4-Way for Saturday Night's main event, which for me was the hardest one to predict. I said last week on the SmackDown recap on the pre-Solo match that the Wyatt 6 was going to call Solo the match, and that's exactly what happened. But I didn't figure they would have Trick lose here. They've been pushing him really hard since he's been up in the main roster. He's been in the ring with Randy and Sammy, so like Trick getting pushed. Matt Cardona's back, but Trick is young and getting that push. Pretty good match. We get some elbows from Matt that turn into punches, scooping a slam from big old Trick Willie. Shoulder block off the ropes, drop down. Cardona sets up a reverse STO and a clothesline that sends Trick to the floor. Matt hits a wrecking ball missile drop kick off the barricade. So then Trick is back in control with the big boot for 2. Cardona sidesteps a boot. Trick gets a boot from Matt, and the Regalplex connects, and both men are down and out. Cardona lands a zigzag, courtesy of Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, and almost got the pinfall. Trick blocks the Tiger Driver, roll through, folding press. Williams kicks out. So we get to the end of the match. Williams slingshot him back inside. Matt floats over a back body drop, crisscross. Trick with the pounce, and then the Trick shot for the 1, 2, 3. And your winner is Mr. Trick Willie himself, Trick Williams. He has qualified for the Fatal 4-Way #1 contender for the Undisputed Championship at Saturday Night's main event and will join Randy Orton. So post-match, Kit Wilson, which Wild Child Billy was talking about in the comments, makes his entrance and brushes past Trick before attacking Matt Cardona and throwing him into the steel steps. So it's like we got a feud brewing between Kit and Matt Cardona, which should be good. So we get Damian Priest interviewed backstage. He says he could talk all day about Drew and McIntyre and facing Solo Sikoa is no issue, but is it really going to be one-on-one? He'll do whatever it takes to get to Drew McIntyre and win the title. So we go back to the ring. Kit Wilson is the ring on the mic. He says we have a problem, and he is the solution. They need reassurance and leadership, and that's him. He is the tonic to the toxic masculinity, and his name is Kit Wilson. Jacob Fatu, meanwhile, appears behind Kitty and lays him out as he flexes after saying his name. A senton follows, and then the diving moonsault from Jacob Fatu onto Kit Wilson. Fatu then gets on the mic and says, Cody Rhodes, if you want to talk shit about me, then bring your ass out there. Punk ass down there. Cody Rhodes comes out in different clothes, in like a jumpsuit type outfit. Him and Jacob brawl into the ring until referee, security, and general manager Nick Aldis pull them apart. And they made the match official for Saturday night's main event. It will be one-on-one. The former undisputed heavyweight champion Cody Rhodes going one-on-one with the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu. So then we get Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa, match number 3, qualifying match number 3 for that fatal 4-way at Saturday night's main event. This was a really good match, but it ended up exactly how I figured. Priest goes up top. We get an interference from Tonga. Referee Dan Engler ends up ejecting Tonga. Solo climbs up. Priest slips under. Razor's Edge for 2. Tonga low up on the apron. Priest takes him out. Ducks a Samoan spike. But the spinning Solo connects, and Solo goes up top for the diving splash, but doesn't get the pinfall. So then we get a Wyatt. The lights go out. When they come back up, the Wyatts are standing behind the remaining MFTs and jump off the announce desk for a brawl. Uncle Howdy almost has his hands on the lantern, but Solo steals it away from him. However, Priest is right there. And Damian Priest hits the south of heaven for the 1, 2, 3 over Solo Sikoa, and Damian Priest advances to the fatal 4-way at Saturday night's main event, where he will be joined by Randy Orton and Trick Williams. Post-match, Uncle Howdy tries to claim the lantern once again, but Tonga wipes him out and ensures Solo Sikoa retains possession of the lantern. So then we see the Sami Zayn, who will be competing in the last qualifier in the main event, walking backstage. He runs into Drew McIntyre. McIntyre says he heard what he had to say last week about hoping Drew would win, but thinking Cody was gonna, and it's good. He's not a betting man. Sami says he meant what he said because what happens next is he goes out there and goes to war with the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov, wins the next week in his hometown of Montreal, Canada. He wins the number 1 contender match, and then at the Royal Rumble, they'll see each other again. Drew said he'd beaten Sami 11 times. To Sami Zayn 0. So Drew said he's 11-0 against Sami. Remember that. That may come into play at some point. Absolutely nothing is going to change. So then Carmelo Hayes makes his entrance to hold his open challenge. And it's TNA's X Division champion Leon Slater. This was a banger. There's so much action back and forth here. I'm not going to go through the whole thing since I got started late. So Leon charges in over the post top. Kongiro back inside, Slater up top. Nobody home on the 450 splash, but the code breaker connects for the 2 count. Up top, jockeying for position. Carmelo hits the avalanche. Final cut, and it is over. Carmelo Hayes wins an absolute banger over TNA's Leon Slater with the Avalanche final cut. And the open challenge continues with Carmelo Hayes, and Carmelo is following in the footsteps. He's putting on banger after banger every single week. But in the back, we see Shinsuke Nakamura watching backstage. And then we see Tama Tonga roll up to tell him he had his chance at the U.S. title, and he blew it. He says once the MFT get the tag titles, Tama said the U.S. title is his. And since he and Nakamura go way back, he's given him one warning to stay out of his way. Shinsuke says something in Japanese and smiles and walks away. So then Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae walking backstage, laughing about how they pulled the trick on Axiom last week. Axiom tells him he wants his mask back, but Gargano passes the mask to his wife and says they don't have a mask, and they're going to go do married stuff. So John goes to walk away, runs into Axiom just the same way he did as Axiom last week. This Axiom cheap shots him and then reveals himself to be Nathan Frazier, who went to Nick Aldis and got a match against Johnny Gargano for next week. So there's a lot of matches next week. Chelsea Green, flanked by Alba Fire, makes her entrance, and she will be going up against another NXT call-up that is on a roll, and that is Jordynne Grace. But the women's SmackDown champion is seated at ringside for this one. Chelsea slaps Grace multiple times, no effect. Jordan with a delayed vertical suplex, covered for 2. Jordan hooks her for a backside, rams her chest first into the turnbuckles. Hits a short arm lariat, back elbows into the corner. She catches a boot, and she has a stretch muffler suplex, fireman's carrier into a California roll. And Jordynne Grace hits the jackknife for the 1, 2, 3 over the one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champion Chelsea Green and the former United States Champion. So that is a big win for Jordynne Grace. Post-match, Jordynne Grace gets on the mic and calls Jade Cargill out, saying it's important she knows exactly what's coming for her, and if she's tired of babysitting the title, she should step in the ring right here, right now. So could we see that as a Saturday Night Main Event? I think it's a little too soon. That could be a Royal Rumble match, to be honest with you. Cargill gets up and gets on the apron to jaw Jordan, but Chelsea runs in and knocks the champion off the apron. Grace picks up the title and holds it high while staring Jade down before throwing it down at Jade onto the floor. So then we get Trick interview backstage. He said he's putting SmackDown on notice, and a special shout out to Randy Orton and Damian Priest for having a match with the future of the business, and on Saturday he's going to whoop that ass. Damian Priest rolls up and stares Trick down, saying Williams likes to talk and he doesn't, and challenges him to a match next week. So next week, one-on-one, we'll get a prelude to the Fatal 4-Way. Trick Williams will go one-on-one with Damian Priest. So now it is time for the last qualifying match for the Fatal 4-Way, the Men's Undisputed Championship. At Saturday Night's Main Event, the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov, going one-on-one with Sami Zayn. Dragunov took the title off of Zayn. This was a no-brainer. Saturday Night's Main Event is in Sami's hometown. He wasn't missing the show. Anyone that thought any differently doesn't really pay attention. So, this match was crazy. Dragunov ended up getting busted wide open. Sami hit a brain buster for 2. Dragunov comes back with some suplexes, some standing switches. He gets another German suplex up top. Sami Zayn meets him with a chop. Sami hits the superplex. Sami goes back up top. Dragunov is busted wide open. We got colored blood. Dragunov bleeding and climbing to join him. Sami gets the sunset foot powerbomb for 2. Dragunov with the missile. Dragunov with the missile drop kick to close. Dragunov with the head of steam, charging lariats in the corner. He low bridges the haluva kick. Fireman's carry on the apron. Sami Zayn slips out with elbows. Torpedo Mosca on the apron, and both men crash to the floor. Sami beats the count. Dragunov cuts him off, diving senton, but Zayn gets the knees up. Corner exploder suplex connects. Sami Zayn then hits the haluva kick for the 1, 2, 3, and your winner and your last qualifier for Saturday Night's Main Event is Sami Zayn. So to round it out, Sami Zayn, Trick Williams, Randy Orton, and Damian Priest will go on to Saturday Night's Main Event to compete in a Fatal 4-Way match for whoever wins faces Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble. Next week on SmackDown, well, before we get to that, after the match, Trick Williams appears from behind and blindsides Sami Zayn, waits for him to get up, and he hits the trick shot. And that's how the show goes off the air. So it was a good show. Next week, we're going to have Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair going up against Nia Jax and the Bougie Bully herself, Lash Legend, and a number one contenders match. We're also going to have Trick Williams going one-on-one versus Damian Priest. And also, we're going to get, I think it's Gargano against one of Praxium. I can't remember which one. Sorry. It's been a long day. And then we are going to get Damian Priest going one-on-one with Trick Williams, Alexa and Charlotte against Nia and Lash. And so the MFTs will be challenging the Wyatt Six for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which I do believe they will change hands next week. So it was a short stream tonight, guys. I know it's a 3-hour show, but you know, I'm trying to limit down. I started super late. It's already Saturday on the East Coast. I still have a lot to do. Today, tomorrow, the off day, the football day, the divisional playoffs start. So yeah, and then Sunday, get ready. It's gonna be firing it up. Shout out to DWE host, DWE replays, Talking Up Wrestling podcast. Make sure you give them a follow on X and a subscription on YouTube as well. And the CEO and head of the table, Miami the Great, and also Wild Child Billy. So I will be back after the outro to tell you where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up in store for you guys starting Sunday.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps Predictions Sports. Let go, Show Recaps Predictions Sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps Predictions Sports. Let go.
All right, thank you. I know it's a small crowd. Normally, I get 200 to 300 on SmackDown or Raw. The last couple of streams have been a little low on numbers, but that's just because of all these different time changes. And obviously, I'll do the SmackDown recap late. So as far as, like I said, shout out to everybody on DWE, Miami the Great, Final Boss Baby, Director Reg, World of Greg, also After the Slam podcast. Also Gimmick Table Media kicking out at 2 podcasts, Suds and Squared Circle Media, also the Wrestling Divas podcast, which they will be joining me on the Royal Rumble prediction show. Suds and Squared Circle Media will be joining me next week on the Saturday Night Main Event prediction show. So as far as my socials, you can see it in that beautiful blue down at the bottom of the screen. You can find me on X at EVPCJP. Same thing on Instagram, same handle. On TikTok, you can find me at Brady, at BRADY, DA, GOAT, GOAT 21. I don't go in there and do all the dancing and all that stuff. I'm just there to promote the streams or anything with DWE. So you guys can obviously find me there on TikTok. And last but not least, most importantly, please hit that notification bell and hit that like button on the EVP show. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's at the EVP show. And if you guys are able to go back and watch the stream tonight, please hit the like button on the stream and leave the comments on the stream, because it helps get my streams in the algorithm. And yeah, it just helps my channel. It gets it out to fresh people that, you know, are not regularly watching the show. So what I have coming up next, I'm off tomorrow. I am back Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for about an hour and 20 minutes. The first 35 minutes or 40 minutes will be news, and then I will open up to Q&A. It will be the newest show about the EVP show, courtesy of DWE. It's Sunday Scoops with the EVP, and I have a lot of news. So this one may go over a little bit. So make sure you do not miss Sunday's episode at 6 p.m. Eastern, live on the EVP show. So be there, be square. If you want questions, I'm not answering them no more in DMs. If you want to know, come to the stream. I can see your comments on X as well as YouTube, or on Miami's X as well. My X, Miami's X, or my YouTube. Monday, I'm back at 10 p.m. Eastern for the Raw recap. Tuesday, doubleheader. Tuesday, me and the CEO, the head of the table himself, Miami the Great, we are back at 6 p.m. Eastern to cover the divisional playoffs. 2 games tomorrow and today, and 2 games Sunday. We will be giving you and covering all of that action. And then later on that night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, I will be live again for the second half of the doubleheader for the NXT recap at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday, absolutely new show. Obviously, Tuesday, the WWE Unreal Season 2 will be on Netflix. Well, I will be live Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern for the WWE Unreal Season 2 recap show. You don't want to miss it. This is going to be a long stream. I do apologize about that, but I have 5 episodes to watch Tuesday night, and I will be breaking them down for you Wednesday night at 10 p.m. And then Thursday, I'm back again at 7 p.m. Eastern, joined by Suds and Squares Circle Media, as we break down and do Saturday night main event predictions. It's the Saturday night main event prediction show, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then Friday, the go home show to Saturday night main event. I am back at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time for the SmackDown recap. And then Saturday, like I said, this is a 7-day week, guys. Saturday, I'm back as soon as Saturday night's main event is done at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. I will be back for the Saturday night main event recap show. And then Sunday, a week from tomorrow, I will be back for episode 4 of Sunday Scoops with the EVP on the EVP show at 6 p.m. Eastern. So we got a full week, a lot of content coming out. Tomorrow's my last day off for quite a while, for 2 weeks pretty much. So I'm going to enjoy today watching football, no YouTube. I will be checking out DW Radio or Talk It Up if they're doing it tomorrow. But besides that, I will not be on YouTube. I'll be saving my voice because I have a long week ahead of me. But yeah, can't wait. So I hope you guys enjoy your Saturday, watching some football tomorrow, and I will see you guys back Sunday night at Sunday evening nights for some, 6 p.m. Eastern for the Sunday Scoops with the EVP. It is going to be a must-see episode. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I am the EVP from the EVP show and the golden boy of DWE, and we are the ones. You guys enjoy your Saturday, and I will see you guys Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern for Sunday Scoops with the EVP. Good night, everyone.